So come. Boom, bye to a soundboy head. Ruben and promote no nasty man, them off he dead. Giving him two dead to him chin. And then me your friend fake the funk, I put the junk to an end. Now who the rude boy want test the OG? I find his family to identify he. I bet you never thought I bust. Surprise, I'm a 45 oak head just like me dreads.
Test the champion sound, you're getting bucked down. Recognize the boot camp click out of Bucktown. Gun thirsty little bastard, always blasted from the sacks of chocolate of mother casting. You say you're number one wicked selector. I say you and I wet ya. Keep the ball for a pull, this your trigger. Cause you don't wanna test me when I'm tipsy off the liquor like the punk they call my girl. Got his feelings hurt. Showed his true colors, had to yank up his skirt. Now he's in misery, trying to cop a plea. To him head from gun clapper number 3. See, lick off a shot, you know. Rider, lick a shot, and up on fire.
Now everybody wanna be down, gaga. All around New York, we talking, but we be stalking. In the darks when the dog starts barking, but in the day we weary of where you be walking.
Some very along with no take down faithful. They say both camel click and rest, I know you're getting done missing. Some very along with no take down faithful. They say black cards scavenger rest, I know you're getting done missing. Some very along with no take down faithful. If you test me for West rest, I know you're getting done missing.
Me nah sex, me rough like the wicked youth in me.
Shalom.
Man, why did you cut that beat? Can you play that one more again? Them boys were spitting.
I actually put the raw intro on.
Man, they was giving it, man. You put the right one on though, cause he was. Oh man, them boys were way. Woo!
Oh, well, welcome to I would say true DOA world. Yeah.
Hey, them boys had me in the zone, Tim.
I think I heard you in the background.
You know, I'm a former rapper, man. Old Detroit pioneer of this game.
Man, that's some good.
Nah,
Back in the day,
it wouldn't be no 4-2 Doug. It wouldn't be no Cheddar Boys. It wouldn't be none of that if my mama didn't push me out the belly. It wouldn't be a lot of Israelites out here either, mostly, if my mama wouldn't push me out the belly.
Yeah. It's like that. A lot of spots with I guess I would say our era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm an unsung pioneer, man.
There you go.
I'll go unsung, but that's all right. Cause I just like doing the work.
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, let me make sure that I hit this up on the link real quick so that everybody could get an opportunity to get on, because we're gonna have a good discussion with this one particular. Very good discussion. Give me a second.
Hallelujah.
Make sure everything going in its proper place.
I'm over here thinking about my Uncle Thomas Whitfield. Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah, that's back in the days. Gospel. Like I said, I was talking with you earlier. You know, I'm from the Christian environment back in the days, so I ain't going to be shamed for that. But,
I ain't never ashamed of it, man.
Mm-hmm. You know? A lot of
I ain't ashamed of nothing.
That's right.
Push me to this point right here.
It's kind of like holding on to your roots for that reason,
Yes. I'm ashamed of the things that I've done that had nothing to do with this shit right here.
Mm-hmm.
Going to church has something to do with this. Putting that crack in my hand, trying to sell it to that black man. Putting that gun in my hand, trying to bust at that black man. That wasn't God's work at all, man. That wasn't a part of this.
That's right. Let me see here. Make sure everything is jack dandy. It should be.
Trying to put pole up in the black woman with no commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a part of this thing, man.
Oh, yeah. Let me see here. What is going on here? But anyway, we're going to get this thing going. Obviously, it's clear. You see the title. Behind the 8 Ball. The curses and those that curse you, part 1. it's gonna be like a little series that we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And I guess let everybody know, featuring my brother Terry Whitfield, or however you want to call your name, is Yasha Band. How do you pronounce that? That's
Yasha been real.
Yasha Band Israel. Well, funny thing, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna do this talk. We're gonna kill two birds with one stone. Cause where we gonna go, right? Obviously, we're gonna go with the curses, Deuteronomy curses. But you know, a lot of the oppressor, you know, they like to turn around and try to say, well, we as a people, we under the curses of Canaan. But we're gonna address that and lock that crap out right from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna go through some of these Deuteronomy curses, but you're gonna take it over and you're gonna give you the experience that you know behind the 8 ball. All right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, definitely. Let me get this on the screen. That's the thing. It's kind of a little bit. Right. Let me throw this on here. This ain't tight. Make sure I got everything together that I can pull it on and off. Serious. Behind the 8 ball, the curse.
Oh boy. Hey, what was in front of the 8 ball? Shit.
There you go. You know what? That's funny. That is very funny. The 8 being behind the 8 ball is one thing, but those that's in front of the 8 ball is another. That's another thing. We're gonna get into that too. Let everybody know this is gonna be a good series. And anybody who wants to get on and put in their experience, they can too.
Who know how to play pool out there? Put a 1 in the chat. You know, I don't. I just know I was born on a pool table, and I'm that 8 ball getting knocked around.
Well, you know, the 8 ball is the common pool game. You know, everybody like to say, well, we could play 9 ball too. Well, potluck 9 ball, but 8 ball, you know,
that black ball, only black ball in the whole damn spectrum.
It's like saying all eyes on you.
Hey, don't that look like an eyeball right there a little bit though? The way it's up there.
Exactly.
It got the what, the retina and the iris. You know, the pupil. The 8 is the pupil.
8 is the pupil. The 8 is the pupil. I guess that little spot where you see right there, that's where that cue ball hit that 8 ball at. It's like perfect. When you're trying to make that perfect shot, poof, and that's game over. But we're gonna talk about these curses, and we're gonna talk about probably when the series is over, we're gonna give a solution.
They would blow your phone up, Tim. Uh-oh.
Well, I'll put it like this: we can do the best we can. You know, we can take these people out there, like to take the horse or the whatever to the well, but we can't make them take the drink. You know. Hopefully they'll have an understanding of it. But like I said, let me pull out the famous.
Hey Tim, I'm gonna have to go out and come right back in because somebody calling me too. And when they do that, because I'm on this other phone, I'm going to have to go out and come back in because the volume be extremely low. So I'm gonna be right back. Look for me. I'm just going out and I'm just coming right back in.
No problem. You got the link. Like I said, share it.
Yeah, you can go ahead and keep it going until you get me in though. I'll catch up.
All right, no problem. Get everything straight. First thing first, we must address the differences of the curses of Canaan, which is quite different, altogether, and is one of the most misused scriptures. The oppressor behind the cue stick, he tries to put on the oppressed. You know, that famous thing is from Genesis 9:18-28. Well, let's look at it from the little shit. I'm gonna read this out. I'll use the Septuagint, of course, the
beautiful
one edition. All right.
Hey, you read.
All right. The main thing on this, right?
Yeah, most people don't even read. It's beautiful that you're reading the Septuagint, and don't let nobody tell you nothing different. And any readings, there's a big thing against the Texas and this and that, which is stupid to me. Read, man. Just start reading.
That's right. That's right. Let me see if I can make sure that link is open. Make sure that link is open, because I know that some people won't get on this one. Definitely put some input in. Be the best way to do it is just, just throw it in the main synopsis of the group, and then we're gonna blow it up from here. But yeah, do it like that. I guess it's a good thing to do it that way and a bad thing. But, people like to attack anyway when they can. So I don't care. All right, let me get back on this. Well, we're going to look at it this way. I'm going to read, it's only like a few, like 7 verses, but the main bulk of it is basically from.
Hey, before you go, you got to go live in the group too?
Oh, yeah, we're live in the group. We're live right now.
All right. I'm muting.
We're live in the group now. We live in the group. I don't know why it ain't showing up on my screen yet, but yeah, we're live because I see that we got somebody looking at least. Let me just see if I can make sure I'm going on my phone. Make sure that it's on there. It says it's there. But you know how StreamYard works sometimes. It might be like a lag behind.
Yeah.
A little bit too. But it's there. But either way, no matter what, we're going to make this a good.
They come back and get the recap.
Mm-hmm.
Anything from this point forward, they can go back and get the recap if it's simulcast.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's gonna be. We're gonna put in a couple of spots regardless.
Hallelujah.
And plus, like this, I guess to them it was like a holiday comeback from their little, I guess government holiday, and a lot of people.
I call it heathen.
Heathen pagan day.
And what now I say, you call it Thanksgiving. I call it holiday hell day. I call it holiday hell day.
Mm-hmm.
I call it holiday hell day. Oh, I call it holiday hell day. I'm about to bust a rap in a minute, Tim. I call it holiday hell day.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. It should be there on it. But let me read this thing out here. It's clear. It's Noah's shame and Canaan's curse. We got to look at this real closely because, like I said, the oppressor loves to try to put that on us and swear, oh, this is the people that y'all are, and this is why y'all so much cursed. But we're gonna show that's not true. We're under another set of curses. That's permanent fixture. All right, let me read this, 18 and on. Now the sons of Noah which came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Shem was the father of Canaan. These 3 other sons of Noah, of these were men scattered over all the earth, which would be Eretz or land. All right. Mm-hmm. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine, and he was drunk, and he was naked in his house. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and he went out and told his 2 brothers without. And Shem and Japheth, having taken a garment, put it on both their backs and went backwards and covered the nakedness of their father, and their face was backwards. They didn't want to look, Yeah. And they saw not the nakedness of their father, and Noah recovered from the wine. I mean, in other words, his little high rise wore off, and he knew not. He knew all that his younger son had done to him. And he said, cursed be the servant Canaan, a slave shall he be to his brethren, which is key right there. That locks out the bullshit that they try to use. Because I'm going to read it again. It says, and he said, cursed be the servant Canaan, a slave shall he be to his brethren. All right?
Forever. All right?
It just says, particular, when you talk about to his brother, that obviously must mean for them, for their era, for them. Specifically, a lot of time on them. All right? And
so the text didn't say forever.
Didn't say forever.
All right, now.
Didn't say forever. Let me finish. It's a little short. Shem's blessing and Noah's death. And he said, blessed be the Lord God of Shem in Canaan shall be his bond servant. Just letting you know it's a continuation from the situation. So obviously, it's time locked for Shem and Ham. So this is basically telling you, may God make room for Japhet and let him dwell in the habitations of Shem.
Forever.
And let Canaan, that's literally giving you the instance of it being forever, but not necessarily.
All right, you know I'm doing that for a reason now.
Well, I know.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm. Trust me, I know. I do that sometimes too. And it's funny that you doing that. This is what a lot of us who or really want to get into these scriptures and learn these things need to be doing too. It's called scrutinizing.
Well, we're not scrutinizing the scriptures because the scriptures are solid. We're scrutinizing people's understanding of the text.
You know,
the scripture, when we read about Daniel and Revelations, and we talk about end time propaganda, even maybe if that's what you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're talking about that, you talk about the Lion of the tribe of Judah is the one who has the keys to open up the book.
Exactly.
So you could talk about this book all day, but it's the Lion of the tribe of Judah that got the spirit to open up. That's what the book says.
Exactly. And they don't like to accept that. Mm-hmm. They don't like to accept that. But they're going to have to accept that today. It's about to be 2023, so I keep saying 2022. Well, I'm going to start saying 2023. People better wake the hell up. Smell the coffee and get them asses up. Let me finish it out. It's only like 2 verses left, and then we can go to the big boy. Because we established already that surely these curses that was pertained here cannot apply on us if we those people today. That curses would have been well gone. So that's letting you know that we can't be Canaan.
And slavery ain't forever.
That's
the
right.
punishment ain't forever. That's why I'm asking, was it forever?
Mm-mm.
Is the slavery forever?
Not at all. Well, put it like this. When we get to those curses, right, and we going to see something with that too. Trust me. We're going to see something with that too. Well, let me finish those last 2, and then we can move on. May God make room for Japhet, and let him dwell in the habitations of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. Let Canaan be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. It gives closure to that particular setting. All right. Now, we all know the famous curses of Deuteronomy. And we know the blessings, but we're not going to deal with the blessings. We're going to deal with the blessings at the end of this series.
Yes.
Which is important. It's important.
Yes.
To tell them a trade secret. How we get these curses is similar to how we get these blessings.
Hallelujah. Praise his name.
Mm-hmm. And they go hand in hand. But remember you said something a little bit earlier on about these curses. Are these curses or slavery, I should say, upon us forever? Well, literally being subjected to these curses could last endless if we don't get it together.
Yes. And I asked that because we want to teach Hebrew with these understandings. Olam don't mean forever, non-stop, forever. That's not what olam means.
Mm-hmm.
Olam means for an undistinguishable amount of time.
That's right. That's right. Sometimes that could be seen endless, though.
That could be 2 years. Because as long as you couldn't distinguish it, it could be 2 years. Mm-hmm. It could be 2 million years.
Mm-hmm. It could be 2 million. It could be
2 seconds.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. You know, it's given to us as a people for a reason anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like a knock at the door when things not going right. Check your shoulder. Like, oh, what am I doing wrong? Why am I getting this thing happen? Why am I behind the 8 ball?
Yeah. So when we talking about an undistinguishable amount of time, You know, that don't mean like it's just impossible, you know, to figure out the timing of it. That's not what forever is. It's just, you just can't say. It's like just beyond the horizon.
I like that word.
You know what I'm saying? You can see the horizon. Forever is just beyond that. You can see an end. You can see a point in it. You see what I'm saying? You can see where it should end, but you just ain't there yet.
You just ain't there yet.
Yeah. And you don't know how long it's going to take you to get there.
That's right.
That's what alarm is. Alarm ain't like what Europeans have you to understand, that this is just forever and ever and ever and ever. Everything has to stop. Shoot a gun, yes, it's go. That bullet gonna go, but that bullet will fall.
When eventually it's gonna drop.
Yeah.
So run out of what you call momentum and drop.
Yes.
Right.
Everything has a distinguishable amount of time on it. When the Most High's talking about an undistinguishable amount of time, you just can't distinguish it.
That's right.
It could be 2 seconds from now. It could be 2 hours from now. It could be 2,000 years from now. It could be 2 million years from now. You can't distinguish it.
That's right.
The Most High can, because he knows it's just beyond the horizon.
To him, it's like a wink, because he already knows the road that's going to be traveled on, and he knows the shortcuts, every angle of the hiding spots, everything. He's like one of those, like a state trooper, just waiting for us to pass the zone. Give you
and our slavery. I say that to say that our slavery is up. It ain't no forever and ever you're gonna be a slave. The slavery is up.
You know why? You know why a lot of people are still feeling that they're still in that mode, feeling of being still enslaved. You know why they feel that way? It's because they have not realized to themselves that, you know what, there ain't nothing here to hold you back. Remember that song, Public Enemy? Can't nothing hold you back.
Yeah.
Well, they for some reason they ain't getting that. You know, they ain't getting it, and they getting with the distractions that's going on.
They haven't made it to that level.
Right. Yeah.
What Public Enemy, when he came out with that, every black man understood what he was talking about.
And they
let him play that song today, and no black man almost know what he's talking about. That's a problem, man.
It's a shame, to be honest with you. What they say, it takes a million to hold us back, or whatever, something like that.
Let's get back to that text. I don't want to take us way off. I got all night.
No problem. But yeah, let's start it off. You know, we perused through a couple of them. You know, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe all his commandments, right? As many as I charge thee this day, then all these curses shall come on thee and overtake thee. Cursed shall thou be in the city, cursed shall thou be in the field. All right. We obviously can associate that with, you know, your grounds that you tended to, whether you be in the land or wherever you being enslaved at, you're gonna hit that damn field. You know,
or how about this? Curse in the city, curse in the field. What about where you're gonna live at? Where you gonna reside? Many of us live in the hills. Many of us live in the fields, in the country.
Ghetto.
You know, many of us live in the cities. But when you follow when you do what the Most High say do, it may appear that you're not going to be blessed, but trust me, good supersedes evil by 7 times.
I like that, by 7 times.
By 7 times, but you can't see it because you can't distinguish it. You can't. Trust me, it works like that. Blessed shall you be, cursed shall you be in the field. Cursed shall you be in the city. Whether you live in the farm, whether you live in the desert, no matter where you go, cursed you shall be. But to give you a real good understanding of that, we just skipped 15 verses of great blessings. First, that was the first option that God gave us.
That's right. That's the first option. The first
That was the first option. And here's the second. And we have to wonder how we ended up dealing with 15 through what, 64, 68.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, if you gotta say it like from 15 literally up to 68, that's a lot of path down the 8-ball road.
See, well, from 15 to 68, if you live that life in any fashion, I'm talking about live that life, you was born behind the 8-ball.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
you know, there's a saying though. The people will say, "Well, I'm not like that. I'm not behind the 8-ball."
Well, they always taught me, man. My ancient elders, I used to sit back and watch old men talk this crap back in the 80s. You know, and maybe even in some parts of the 90s, early parts of the 90s. And the old cats used to talk, you know, in the barbershop and in the pool room. Mm-hmm. You know, those are places where guys used to get it in and talk that talk. Mm-hmm. You know, and they just talk about the bar, not the barbershop, the 8-ball. Mm-hmm. And they should talk about how the 8-ball was symbolic for the black man.
It really literally
is. Pool table, why is it green? Because that's the green earth. Mm-hmm. And the 8-ball is the most used and abused ball on the goddamn table. Mm-hmm. But guess what? When you get rid of the black man, you end the game.
Well, that's funny that you said that, right? Like I said, I used to be a good pool shark, literally. You know, the first thing you want to do if you got that cue ball and you up, you know, everything is set up, you know. If you knock that 8-ball in at the first break, you win. But after that, you don't do it, you got to hit all those other balls. Because if that 8-ball dropped before that time frame, you everything you did went to waste.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Everything you did. That's the game, and that's the, you know, all of these games that these European checkers, chess, pool, all of this stuff that I've learned had a lot to do with us as African American people. Mm-hmm. The holidays. You understand what I'm saying? Everything. The entertainment, everything is drawn from us, man. Yeah. Why is it that we can't succeed? Why? The most dumb amongst us should be thousandaires.
It should be billionaires, to be honest with you.
Yeah, fuck thousandaires, millionaires. You say billionaires, millionaires. Somewhere there's a discrepancy because we fighting over the amountage that we should have.
Yep.
You know we born behind the 8-ball and ain't got nothing, man.
You know that's funny, right? You know that's funny. We can go back real quick to the part when we read off from 15 about the field, right? The field. The field goes back connected with, you know, tending to the land, you know, tending to the your farm or whatever. You notice that when you were, you know, let's go back and be in the mindset of having some ownership of some land and you was a farmland and you had everything going good for you because you was listening to the words of the Most High and you was following suit, keeping everything you needed to be keeping with the Most High. You notice everything was flourishing. Everything was flourishing. You know what I mean?
Simple life, easy. Mm-hmm. No drugs, no interferences, no whoredoms or sexual deviancies. You know what I'm saying? No lying, no stealing. You had to just be real with yourself and the world around you.
Yep, like basically everything was coming to you, everything was there for you.
Yeah,
right? That's right. That's funny. That's why I'm saying that because you know it looks like everybody, you know, that thought had an opportunity to just basically just live off the land and without any flaws of anything, just by just keeping it real with themselves and the Most High, you know. And then, of course, you know, you got some of us, we want to get a little bit more than the next man, you know, greed. He ain't give us that in our own mindset. That's something we get from, you know, following other than the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing, like how like we talk about like the drugs and all. Well, them just don't have to be drugs. It could be like anything that's like
sex. And we like both of them. You know, we like things that please us.
Mm-hmm. Say that again.
Say that again. Things that pleases us directly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some even go as far as injecting it in them, whether it's a ding-a-ling or a damn needle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being real.
Yeah.
People will go to great extremes to please self and not please the world, the trees, the flowers, the air, the mothers, the fathers, the neighbors,
right?
Dogs. Yeah.
It's funny that you're saying that because, you know, a lot of that is leading back to the commandments and the things that we were in the beginning. All we had to do is hear that voice and follow suit with everything that's needed there. You notice that?
Yeah.
There you go. You know, those all fit right in. This is like natural, really, for you to like really just say this out. I hope that a lot of the youth, because the youth is the ones that need to hear this more importantly, because a lot of us older heads, we already know from the disasters we going through that if we could do certain things over, what we would do to fix it, we would.
I'm going to tell you what the youth told me on Sarnetta's show, and these words will stick with me probably for the rest of my life. You know, I'm quite sure it won't apply to every generation if the Lord let me live another 2 more, right? But this young man said that we know all that y'all been through. We know the history of this and that and this and that. We know about the Egypt, the Israel, the Kemet, the all of that black this and Nation of Islam. We know about all that.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want your God. We don't want your Kemet.
Wow.
We are a new generation, a new breed of African Americans. And we want that.
It'll seem like you're going back to self.
We want that to be the big movement. We want everybody to be like African Americans. We want everybody to be out here living the life we do. Tight ass jeans, dyed hair, men with dyed ass dreads, with dye in them, and whatever the fuck killing, sliding on niggas, whatever drinking lean, whatever the fuck y'all African Americans is doing. Because I know what y'all doing, nigga, and it ain't worshiping God.
No.
But you want this. It's like it's almost like what the Black Panther said about Malcolm X. Yeah, we like the way you stood up against that white man. We like that. We like this, but we don't want your God. And then them young motherfuckers came and took that same militancy, and the feds got right on their goddamn ass. I'm talking about on their ass, because y'all went without God, man.
Can't do nothing without the Most High. You gotta have the Most High with you in everything you do, in every aspect of life.
You know what the secret is of us being born behind the 8-ball? They took our Elohim from us. They took our Eloheinu.
Yeah.
They took our power from us. Because that's what Eloheinu mean. It don't mean our God. God is a Germanic word, man.
Basically, Germanic, Greek, incorporated word.
And Thor and all Marvel Comics type shit, man.
Yep. You're right about that.
I mean, really. That's what they gave us. And they took our power and replaced it with their God.
Mm-hmm.
They took our El, our power. The Aleph Lamed deals with might, strength, and power. You don't believe me? Look up El. It means the mighty one, the powerful one, the strong one.
That's right. That's
We
right.
deal with might, power, and strength. They took our might and power and strength from us and replaced it with their God.
Exactly.
And from that point on, you was guaranteed, according to the scriptures, to be behind the goddamn 8-ball. No, you are the 8-ball.
That's the better way of saying it. We are the 8-ball. They're the ones that's got the cue stick. We're just behind the
Yes.
situation of getting ourselves together. That's what we're behind on. But as far as being the 8-ball itself, that's us. You know what I'm saying? That's us. Wherever that 8-ball goes, we go. And obviously, the person who took aim is in control of the
But we was born behind the 8-ball.
Mm-hmm.
We had the actual power.
I gotta ask you a question.
It was traded for their God. Yes.
Can we of our own? And you got to be honest with it. This is a very important one. Can we of our own get ourselves together? It's not a trick question either.
Yes. Because I'm gonna say that because when we talk about El, right? You got the Aleph. The Aleph is the bull in ancient pictographic Hebrew in Phoenician, right?
Mm-hmm.
The head with the horns, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they represented power, strength, might, authority, right? And the Lamed, which is the El, the Lam, you know, but it was like a staff in pictograph, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this Lamed represented direction, learning,
Mm-hmm.
teaching, guidance, right?
Basically pulling your arms out and taking the bull by the horns.
That's what El means. But they told you it meant God. Odin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thor.
Well, you said Odin. Yeah, that's another one. We don't even look at that and associate things with. But yeah, that's another one. Exactly.
That's what they gave you.
Mm-hmm.
And they took your power and your strength and your wisdom and your knowledge and your guidance, your power, your Aleph Lamed, your El. Now we say Elohim, meaning the plurality. We dealing with majestic plural, meaning like this is El to the 1000th power now.
Mm-hmm. Which is a hard thing for the knucklehead to swallow. You say that word again? Majestic plural. Mm-hmm.
Elohim. Now you got Elohim. That's like plural L's, like many L's, right? Because when you put the im behind El, then it becomes plural. So El, then you get im, Elohim. You know, it becomes plural, like El to the 1 millionth power, like type thing. You dig? Then you get El, Elohim. Now we got Elohika, which is your power, your might,
your power, your might,
your strength, right? Then you got Eli, which is my power, my might, my strength, right?
That's right.
Then you got Eloheinu, which is our power, our might, our strength. But they lied and told you about some shit called God. And then, and I'm not anti God. Trust me, I am anti God that could trace back to Odin and Thor, right, in Gotham City, like Batman comic type shit.
Call it the made up guys.
Yeah. I have a problem with that God. I'm talking about power, might, and strength, because they didn't take away from us, again, our God. We never had one. They gave us one, right?
Mm-hmm.
G-O-D. Our Elohim didn't start with a G.
It has no significance to even be a G in it, to be quite honest.
They took your Elohim, your Eloheinu, right? Your power, your
authority. Your authority.
Yeah, your Elohika, your power, your strength, your might, your authority. And then replaced it with a God, with their God.
Mm-hmm. With their God. That's the key word. With their God.
And that is what took us from being behind the 8 ball to being the actual 8 ball itself. Because Israel is Yasha Allah.
Mm-hmm.
He that will rule as El. He that will rule as strength. He that will rule as God. He that will rule as power, with power, for God, power, for God,
Mm-hmm.
with God, even as God. Most importantly, as his most important representative on this planet. That's you, African American black man.
The wake up call, really. It's the wake up call.
And when we don't hear that wake up call, we go from being behind the 8 ball,
The further.
power, right? The cue stick, right? That's able to move our every essence to actually becoming the 8 ball itself.
You're right about that.
I'm saying, who's behind the 8 ball?
Right about that. But you know, you can say these things to these. You say youth, but I can go further than that. It's not just only the youth. It's a lot of hard headedness going on with our people. To be quite honest, a whole lot. You know what I mean? It takes like those like you, me, those that know to be the first helping hands to get this information, which is easily accessible out. You know what I mean? But you
In
got to
your
think
life, in your life, and I understand that, and I'm willing to take on the challenge. I just need my brothers to help me, and I'm glad that you took on the challenge and helped me, or I wouldn't be here. We have to understand who and what is behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm.
The 8 ball, no matter how you slice it, is us.
Yeah.
Is it going to be your power or is it going to be his power?
Take it away from them. They took it from you from the beginning.
You are the 8 ball that governs the goddamn game. What's the most important ball on the pool table?
You know that. That's the device of the game, the 8 ball.
Usually, who stands around to the end of the game? Who get banged up and beat up and hung up while everybody's shining, looking pretty throughout the whole damn game? Yeah. Who can end the game off the jump? And then who is behind it?
You got to think about who the sit-alongs that be sitting in those pool halls, you know, with the cigarette smoking, the jive talking, and this and that. They're not in the game, but they love to see what's going on.
Yeah, they like the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what our people problem is. We like the game. Mm-hmm. Some of us even like being the 8 ball. I'm wondering who is behind it.
Well, some say the man behind the 8 ball is the man in control of the 8 ball, though.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I know. There's only a man that's pushing them balls at all.
Yeah.
The balls really mean nothing.
They don't.
It's about who is behind the 8 ball. Who are you giving your power to?
You know, you're funny with this one. Think about, like, we got the big thing that's been in the speculation is for a while, like Kanye West, right? Kanye West. Let's look at him in an example, right? Money guy, big time money guy, has the ability to pretty much wherever he's from. I think in Chicago.
Yeah.
If he really wanted to, he could probably clean up the streets, right? And not saying that that's his job he need to do. Not saying that. Not saying that at all.
I think he really want to these days, but I don't think he know how to want to.
Well,
but I'm gonna let you go ahead.
No, that's a good thing. He doesn't know how to want to. That is correct. You know, that's gonna lead back to how the Most High gives us these commandments. The Most High
touching that man right now, and the devil gonna try to kill him or inject him or fuck him over somehow to stop him from being a conduit right now.
Well, you gotta know that in the situation that was going on with everybody, that's like whoever's getting absorbed and waking up behind this, you damn right. They gotta stop.
He was the rich. Do you know that man made it to be the richest black man in America history for about a week or two?
Yep.
He made it there and got to the point to where, you know, when Martin Luther King said, I've looked over the mountaintop, and mine eyes have seen the glory. Kanye got to the point where he looked over the mountaintop, man.
Yeah.
And his eyes have seen the glory.
Do you really think that he's going to, would you say that word, somehow lose everything he have? Basically, they're gonna.
I think that he took that oath, man, and he fucked up because of that, and that's something real, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's something our brother gonna have to deal with. And I think that he's going to have to really, really connect with the brothers that Kanye West is associating himself with. You know what I'm saying? Because Kanye actually was the A-ball and actually got behind the A-ball. Something that a lot of us have not done. And he just got too cocky and they just wasn't having it. He just should have, if he would have just did his Israelite thing and shut up and kept it crypto, like the Jews in Spain did, you know what I'm saying? He'd have been out cold. But Kanye had got that new awakening, man. That new awakening, you know, when you get that call, man, when the Lord call you and you say yes, man, that is something, man, that is undescribable, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. If the Most High does, you know, call a person, right, you are, you know, subjected to hear that call, to listen to that call, to follow through.
There's many who heard it. Most can't hear it. Mm-hmm. Right? Most don't want to hear it. Most don't know how to hear it. But there's those who hear it and reject it. Mm-hmm. Do you know how crazy that is, Tim?
Yeah.
The Lord have actually gave you the word, and you said, "No, Lord, I don't want your word."
Sounds like Ahaz, basically.
You know,
Ahaz? Yeah, so it'll sound like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you reminded me. You know, because I want to go back and read on that because I remember that, and you took me, you took me back to what's that word? Was it Nagastalia? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, nostalgia. But literally, that's exactly when you said what you said. It gave me that trigger that put me right at that point because you got to think about it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because when Ahaz was at that point, right, which is a good point to be, right, because he was the king over the nation at the time. I guess you could say of Judah at that time frame. And he had the call, the saying, and everything from the Most High, literally, you know, obviously through Isaiah, and he actually rejected it.
Man.
You rejected it. That's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that Kanye does not reject it. I hope he
Well, he
takes
showed
that
the
and
world
works
he
with it.
accepted it. The thing about it is they gonna squeeze his balls and make him say, "I'm sorry, I lied." Only thing that they can do to do now is to make just bring him down, make him look bad, or make him look crazy.
And you know they don't have no problem with doing that, right? No care
That's
in the
the
world.
only thing that's the only thing they can do now. And they ain't got, and I know they ain't got no problem with doing it. And I think that that's what they're going to do. And I think the Lord is going to be pleased with whatever the case may happen. But because the Lord is the Lord. But the thing about it is that the Lord don't move you, right? The Lord didn't make you go rob that damn bank, right?
Nope.
The Lord didn't make you go set up that damn crack house, right?
Nope.
You know, and being that the Lord give you free choice and will, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people just is not going to hear and do what the Lord say do, man. You know, and some of us, unfortunately, some of us have gotten in too deep, you know, and can't be saved, you know.
Well, you got that part. You got to really express that they got in too deep.
Yeah, making oaths with the devil, and you know that's the devil. You know what I'm saying? And it's been made clear to you, and you making oaths and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
really making mockery over the Most High when you putting anything or anyone above Him, literally.
Yeah, you know, you can't be doing that. You just can't do that. You know, I mean, the one thing, you know, the most high is so funny, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I can't tell you the mind of Yah. You know, all I can tell you is that, you know, what the formula is, what the methodology is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And how to receive from that power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it may take a long time to see results, right?
You got to remember too. This is you gave me another trigger. You know, saying that, right? You know what pleases the Most High? He's pleased to bruise that ass.
Yeah, but I don't think that the Most High would be pleased to bruise Kanye. But you know what I'm saying? You know,
it's a stimulation for him to get himself together too. You know, he don't have to necessarily.
I think the Most High, to be honest with you, I think the Most High is giving him another chance. See, but it's not about Kanye. Just it's not just as simple as saying, "Lord, forgive me," like in church. You know, Lord, I'm sorry for my sins. You know, I believe you the Savior, this, that, and then just go on with your life. It's not as simple as that now.
Yeah, you can look at it that way too. It's like you watching the situation, and you're like, see who's up next. You put your quarter on that pool table. You up next.
Yeah, Kanye, all that talking and shit got to stop, and Kanye's life has to change. His movements have to change. His thinking has to change, and he has to. If Kanye has to think about self and self-preservation, you know, Bruce Jenner or what, Chrissy Jenner or whatever she changed her name to.
You went to that bad guy, that bad news guy. Yeah,
he exposed to Kanye recently that his wife was on some wicked ass shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So Kanye really need to, you know what I'm saying? He really need to understand what's going on, man. You know what I'm saying? And leave that whole world, leave it behind, and get with some thoroughbred Israelites that's gonna fight for him and protect him.
You know,
he got enough money to take care of the thoroughbred that's gonna fight for him and protect him.
Yeah, that is correct. But that's like the furthest thing. That's the furthest thing from guys like that mind though. That's the furthest thing away. You know, that's the thing about having all of those riches and distraction with those riches that you don't look down and see the smaller man. I see I must have lost you again. But yeah, well, let me continue while he's there getting his phone together. Says it was that curse shall be thy barns and thy stores. We went over that. A good thing here. Curse shall be the offspring of thy body in the fruits of thy land, the herds of thine oxen and the flocks of thy sheep. All literal, and also idioms to certain things too. You know, cursed body means you're gonna give birth to new people, new children that's gonna also be behind an 8-ball. He needs to be back here. That would have been a trigger for him. He would have been able to elaborate more on that. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see what's going on here. Welcome back.
Oh man, I'm over there talking and going, and I never realized that I'd have fell off. How long has I been off?
Probably like 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. So the majority of that got heard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Kanye gonna have to get with some real Israel. I'm telling you, if I was at that position, Kanye is at the position that I would have been at if I would have made it. You know what I'm saying? As an Israelite talking that Israelite talk, I got blackballed years ago. I see Kanye myself.
That's a good example. Let's play that role for a second. Let's play that role for a second, and even the people in the audience can play that role too. Say if you was him, right? With your mindset though, what would you do?
What I would do is get amongst the Israelite community. I would find some thoroughbred Israelites, just get out there and be cool right now. Don't search it. Don't search it. Don't sweat it. Just get out there and get in the game. Even if you got to go through ISUPK, if you got to go through IOG, you know what I'm saying? If he got to go, however way he got to get in, you know what I'm saying? If you got to go through, however, more than likely it would be One West because they like the poster child, supposedly, right? You dig? But just get in it, right? And don't, make your allegiance to niggas. You love them, but don't let nobody stop you. Not even the group you in. Get in, get in the game. Share, don't give nobody all your money. But if you give a nigga a couple hundred here, you know what I'm saying? And just show.
I lost him again. I wanted to ask him, what about the wolves? The wolves in the pack. You gotta watch those. Those that pride in getting over. Those that pride in getting over. Let me see if I can get his attention again and get him back on here. Give me a second. All right, there we go.
This is crazy. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this phone. What I did was I had the phone I pay for, the battery is dead, so I got it over there charging. And I got this old government phone here that I'm using that is actually one of my relatives. And it is so touchscreen sensitive. and I got it sitting on my chest while I'm laying down relaxing, right? So anytime I move, this thing just shut me out the damn show. So I'm going to take this and set it on the table.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
That way, this phone should have no reason to bump me off. All right. Yeah, so I think that he should make his way over to some real Israelites, cats like me. You know,
well, that's one the thing I wanted to ask you, right?
You know, cats like you. You know what I'm saying? Cats like Danya Allah. You know what I'm saying? Cats like Hebrews in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Cats like who would I say? Make it over to cats like I would even go as far as saying Divine Prospect. You know what I'm saying? Some real, sincere, good, down to earth, very intellectual Israelites that has the knowledge that can help you get to the point where they are at intellectually in this game. And once all Kanye need now is just to get to the point where he is mature spiritually and intellectually in this game. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a newbie.
Well, that's why I wanted that when you got disconnected, I was going to ask you, what about the wolves? How does he avoid the pack of wolves that's out there? Now, the ones that you named, not one of those I consider a wolf because I know they're sincere. But a lot of the Israelite community, I would have to say, the clout chasers are not.
They are the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Israelite community at large is pretty much just like any other religious community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the most part. You know, Judaism don't work like Islam, right?
No way.
Islam don't work like Christianity, right?
Mm-hmm. Not at all.
Christianity don't work like Hebrewism, right?
Mm-mm.
So, but inside of every religion, you got wolves, man.
Oh yeah, you gonna have them, yes, no doubt.
You know, and that is a sheer reality.
But being like he's like you said, he's so basically like an infant in this prospect, this walk, right?
Yeah,
it has to be. And it takes him to do this. It's not like we can give a message and he could hear it and do this. This is something that he has to do. He has to pride himself into finding the right, should say, group to get with.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I would advise he get through social media. You know what I'm saying, and just do his research, man. Just sit back and just watch what's going on in social media and dig deep until he find guys like the guys who I talked about. Right.
With all that kind of money and all that kind of lifestyle, do you think he'll have enough in him to humble himself down to hear from what would you say, the regular Joe? You know what I mean?
I think that he can get humbled and put in a position, and they're doing that where he can do that, but I don't think he know to do that. You see, because he's a newbie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think Kanye know what the hell to do. You know, and there's many Israelites that would love to suck him in. I would love to teach him and talk to him. Hey man, just fuck with me on social media, and you ain't got to give me shit, bro.
Mm-hmm. Well, think about it.
Give me a fucking red cent, bro. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, dog.
Put him on the side for a second. Although he got his connection with the Israelite community. Let's go back a couple of years and let's look at what happened to, like, say, Bill Cosby. All right, you see what happened to him. He got him. They had put him in the can. You got to say, basically, he was finished. Obviously, do you think that man, being that he lucked out of somehow they let him back out, do you think he learned his lesson?
Yeah, because he's old and he's like, well, Bill Cosby like them in 90 years old, ain't he?
Might be 100. But yeah.
You know, out of all of the stars, out of all of the black men in America, America have treated no black man as good as they treated Bill Cosby. Not even Michael Jackson, man.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson ain't lived the years that Bill lived as a star.
Nope.
As a success. We just talk about the years of doing it. Michael may have seen as much money as Bill, right? Michael may even gotten more popular than Bill, right? But Michael ain't lived the life that Bill. Bill Cosby lived the life, the best life that any black man could want to live. Fuck around, go to prison, because black men go to prison, right? Right? No matter how good or bad they is, because they go to jail too, right? And he went to prison too, right?
Yeah.
Come out and still live.
Yeah. But you got to
beg, and they got to beg and borrow.
Yeah, you got to consider though. It was like a double, I was to say double shot hitting him with the 8-ball, because even though he did what he did, and I guess society looked at that as a bad thing, but when they took him in the can, they took all of the things that he did positive away. You know what I mean? You got to look at it that way too. He did some positive things. He had his little shows, his little Fat Albert shows, the Cosby shows. He was always, no matter what.
Now, let's look at this. Now, you got Bill Cosby come to Detroit. Black people, get off your ass. Stop selling drugs. Stop hoeing. Get good grades in school. Try to become the best person you could ever be. This world don't give a fuck about you. I know y'all got the power to be who y'all, who God destined y'all to be. But they made y'all ain't shit, and y'all happy not being shit. That's what Bill Cosby came to Detroit said, right? King Von, fuck y'all, I'm killing all y'all, I'm selling all y'all dope, I'm fucking all y'all daughters and y'all bitches, nigga, this, that, right? We both make it to stardom in America. Bill Cosby got his legacy at 80, 90. King Von didn't even get to see his record deal.
Yep.
This is the world that we live in there, man.
That's that 8-ball.
Yeah.
That's the 8-ball.
Now you got the guy talking crazy, wild, reckless. I mean, the government just flooded them with money. This boy was getting flooded with money before he even had a record deal, man.
That's the sad part, that a lot of people don't see that part. Like sometimes we're being born into it. I think I had just read that key part, verse 18. Cursed shall be the offspring of thy body, and the fruits of thy land, the herds of thine oxen, and the flocks of thy sheep. That shit's real, man. That shit's real.
No matter, and we never did make it off that verse. No matter what walk of life you in, whether you in the field, whether you in the city, whether you in the mansion, whether you in the fucking projects, right? Bill Cosby, King Von, right? Cursed you be. Even the black man who tried to interpolate us into this white man world, nobody did it better than Bill Cosby.
That's right. That part, I gotta give him credit for that. That part.
No black man told us that America was ours for the taking. Get in it, black man. Quit fooling yourself and get in this white man's world. Nobody told us that harder than Bill Cosby.
I remember watching him in an old Western. It was like a Western he was in. I think him and his son, they had an old 12 gauge shotgun. He had some land. He was, I guess, gave it to him or inherited, and how they was messing with that, man, in that circumstance. But he was playing that role, like basically how life is with us now. You know what I'm saying? I remember that. Like I said, he always played a positive no matter what.
Well, he had some little gangster ass roles, him and Sidney Poitier. They were
that's funny.
They still was thugged out gangster street, very, very street,
Yo,
he had his urban, you know what I'm saying, thing going on.
Uptown Saturday night.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
I'll never forget when him and Sidney Poitier, they was in a bar and they was about to get into this fight, and then this real little video dude
Oh, yeah.
doing karate and
Uptown Saturday night. Yep.
And then Sidney Poitier look over at this little dude. Then he look over at this other dude. Then he got this big ass Bubba standing right over there looking at it. They're like, oh shit, I got this big Bubba right here. This little wild karate motherfucker. We gotta fight him.
Bill Cosby was talking his shit, right?
Yeah.
All that shit.
Born behind the 8 ball, man. You know what I'm saying? When you born behind the 8 ball, you got the power. You just don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you relinquish your power to someone else, man. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That don't have the best interest for your life.
That's right. That's right.
Or something else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That don't have the best interest for your life.
Well, check this out. Since we on that, we're gonna go one more. We're gonna turn the path one more. I'm gonna go 2 more actually, but I'm gonna go 1 more main one. Before I go to OJ, I'm gonna go to R. Kelly. What do you think? I mean, obviously he did some bad, obviously, but technically he ain't doing it all by his damn self. All right.
Yeah.
And people know the man was sick. All right. Literally. Right. Did you see how they do us? You see how they do us? They
Yeah.
don't give a shit about us to the point. Instead of helping us, they sit there and they take it to another level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
They capitalize off of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a scripture somewhere in the Bible, I think, where it says something. I say the Bible because I can't distinguish whether this is a Old or New Testament scripture.
Mm-hmm.
But it says something like, the Gentiles wax rich off the sins of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
The nations of the Gentiles wax rich off the sins of the Israelites.
Let me think of that one. I know exactly where that one is.
Ain't that somewhere in the Bible?
Mm-hmm. It's in the Old Testament, actually. It's in the Old Testament. Man, let me think. Keep talking, though. Keep talking. I'll remember it.
You know, and that's what it is, man. You know, born behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, born behind the 8 ball, man, with no guidance is a bad thing, man. Because
it's a psalm. I'm trying to think of it. It's a psalm.
Born behind the 8 ball is a bad thing. You know, because you born this Israelite, this great badass son of God, the son of all the power in the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But due to our slavery, due to the post-traumatic slave syndrome, and just being born behind the 8 ball, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just bad, you know. It's bad to us because we wasn't born with the power. We was born with the power, but we didn't. Our parents didn't have control of the power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their parents didn't have control of the power, right?
Nope.
To teach us that we were that badass 8 ball.
That's that thing about that cat o' nine tail, you know.
Yeah.
They go back in time. You think about it. The minute they got us on these shores, you know, and then when they say us, we can literally be them ancestors. Got us on them shores, and they put that to our naked heart.
Yeah.
We had no chance of getting it straight. You know, a lot of us took it to suicide.
You born behind the 8 ball, right? You is the 8 ball, and you actually have the power of the ball, right? But you don't know that, right? So you relinquish your power to somebody else, man. And that 8-ball is just going any old which way, right? Other than the way to win the game.
What about since you said that? What about the innocent the innocent Israelites that ended up in the first bondage in Egypt? They didn't do anything wrong, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do anything wrong, but the ancestors before them did, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, destiny had to take its place, but you got to think about it. What
Now,
did they do? They was behind the 8-ball big time.
yeah, that first bondage. But then again, the Most High kind of made up for that though. He created a balance, because also that first generation of salvation didn't make it in either.
Of course they didn't. You know why they didn't, right?
Yeah.
And that's a funny thing with these particular curses that we were looking at, right? Moses literally, Most High gave him these things to give to that generation, but it wasn't really, I would say, demonstrated for that generation because obviously they didn't hearken to it themselves to even feel the curses. They didn't get to feel the curses, but the generations and generations and generations and generations later, to the point where we out here, we're feeling them curses.
But excuse me, I was over yawning. Think about the first generation that went in that perished, that didn't even make it into Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they felt deceived?
To be honest with you, I don't think so. I think their minds were so defiled that they didn't get it. They didn't get to even to feel that feeling. To be honest,
said their mind was so effed up. They wasn't even intellectual even enough to even just.
Yeah.
They just died right on off like fuck it.
Mm-hmm. You gotta be honest with that. If we like us in our mindset today, if we was back in their time frames and we had the opportunity to get ourselves out of there and get into a better place, we probably would know better. But for them, they kind of like looked at that. Man, they still had Egypt mentality.
I asked that because I remember reading somewhere at some point. The Israelites was like, man, this man deceived us. He brought us in the wilderness to kill us. Remember that?
Yeah, that's what they were murmuring. That's basically right. That's like if you say a couple of days after they, got across that Reed Sea, they started murmuring all over again. Man, what you trying to do to me, man? You trying to bring us out here to kill us? We gonna die out here. We ain't got no water.
Y'all niggas made us leave America. Yeah, we know niggas getting killed over there. Yeah, we know that our mamas and daughters and sisters and brothers on drugs, selling drugs and hoeing and stealing and lying and contracting with wickedness. Yeah, we know all of that. But you took us away from all of that so you could take us in the wilderness and kill us, Moses.
Exactly.
You sitting up there telling us you come to be our savior and we about to build this nation and God told us to get out and all of this and next day we don't even make it in the goddamn king. Like you said, it was their wickedness that they didn't make it, right?
They got screwed.
And you can get so wicked to where you can get so caught up in your wickedness to where simple things like that you can just not even give a damn about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You got to know somebody from the opposing side would turn around and say, well, what about Joshua? What about Caleb? Even though Caleb was not a actual Israelite, he was I think it was Edomite or whatever. He was associate. But guys like them, they didn't die off though. What gave them the the intestinal fortitude to make it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's something to think about, or any of the mixed multitude for that matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What gave them that intestinal fortitude to make it?
Egypt had the rulership, the government of Egypt had to have been something somewhat like America.
Yeah, I would have definitely agree with that. I had a guy on last night doing a live, and I listened to him where he was saying, and I felt his pain on that. You're exactly correct. You know, America is like that now. It is like that. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Yeah, Egypt would have, in order to have a group of people to leave and a whole bunch of other people from your nation to leave with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, well, this ain't just some black shit, right? Okay, or this ain't just some a certain group of nigger shit, right? There's some people who felt some type of way, and a whole bunch of others that probably outnumbered them
Mm-hmm.
came with them.
Yeah.
There wasn't them.
Yeah. Well, that comes in with us as a people not thinking. Be honest with you, us as a people not saying, you know what, let's get it together and leave this bullshit. Not saying that you have to leave America. I'm more like, just take this place back from these cocksuckers, and we could do it. Just gotta come up with a plan. You don't have to do it violently, really. To be honest with you, because we know we got the Most High. We don't got to do anything violently.
All I tell you is let my YouTube page happen to just blow up like Young Pharaoh or Polite or anybody like that, right? That's all the Lord got to do for me. I'm gonna make it happen. Let me get $4, $5, $6 million, right?
Yeah, well, then you know what's gonna happen next, right? Since you said that, you gave me another trigger. What about what about you got the likes of your boy, that likes to put down, I would say, those that could actually get together, even though we have different belief systems going on and whatnot. But what about the ones that like keep on, putting down one particular group, and for what purpose? To be honest with you, I don't want to say the name on the thing, but
I'm just be honest with you, man. The way the Most High got all of this stuff set up, I think all of that stuff is His will on the low.
Well, it goes back to what I said. He's pleased to bruise that ass.
I mean, just because I'm not happy with One West, I can't say the Most High not happy with them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? I would like to believe that the Most High is not happy with them, right? But I can't say that the Most High is not happy with them. He ain't dropped no nuclear bombs on the whole damn group, right?
Because you know what? It's a measurable amount of those that's, no matter whether it be whatever One West persuasion it is, there is a measurable amount of those that are sincere in what they're doing. You know what I mean? When I say sincere, meaning like they don't know no better, but they're sincere at following suit. It's just that when we had the leaderships that ain't sincere, they got narrative, agenda that's behind it, that's when the problem starts.
And I think that we're at the point in this game, right, to where there's so many different Israelite groups and teachers, to where every black man can be suited. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Intellectually.
Yeah. I'm 100% for that. You know that.
There's religious groups, there's intellectual Israelite groups, right? There's cultish Israelite groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just being real with you. There's so many different type of Israelite groups, just like there's so many different type of Christians. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's a type of Christianity to suit your fantasy here in America, right?
Yeah, I'm for the positivity. Always, I'm for the positivity. I ain't gonna, believe me, I ain't gonna really put down one particular group because I don't like them based off of my biases. Yeah, if I'm going to go against them, I'm going against them to turn them towards, being on the same path. That's more or less the more important thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I'm not at one with the ISUPK, right? But but there's millions of others that is though, right? I'm not at one with IUIC, right? But there's hundreds of thousands and millions that is though. I'm not at one with them. I don't agree with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that is an opening door to somebody, right? I went through that door. I went through the old school ISUPK door, right? I never joined them. I used to fool around with them and learn from them and all of that, right? But I also went through the Ben Ami door. That's what I would advise Kanye to do. Don't commit. Love them all. Fuck with them all. But don't commit to nobody until you then found to the Lord placed you where you need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that would be my advice to Kanye, like I did. Like right now, I'm in a Lion's Den, right? And that's the only place I ever joined, right? Ever. Right? Mm-hmm. And the leader of the Lion's Den would tell me, man, that you way more intellectual than I am, right? I see that's the place for me, right? You see, because if I've been in other places where the leaders knew that I was more intellectual with them, but they never would tell me that, right?
Well.
Because they don't want me to feel a certain type of way. JJ know what it is over there. You know what I'm saying? And he submit to that. That's different, man. I met Ben Ami personally. If it wasn't for Ben Ami, I wouldn't even be an Israelite, right? But I never joined his group. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't tailored for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I found my place. And that's what the Most High gonna do. And the Most High gonna put you in a place where people gonna love you, they're gonna fight you, they're gonna support you, they're gonna do all of that, just like a family do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens in the Lions Den. We fight over there. Me and JJ fight like fucking cats and dogs. That's my brother though, right?
I gotta ask you a question. It's a good question. And this is a good question. With this this awakening that's going on, whether it be through, ISUPK, I'm just saying in general names, whether it be through whatever portal they get it, or you get it, right? Yeah. Now, let's think about the 8 ball on this. Is that something that could cause, I guess, the strong arming of those other nations? Obviously, the other nations hate us, clearly.
I repeat that. Somewhere I kind of lost the key point there. Mm-hmm. A key word that kind of made me confused.
Right. The great awakening that we're getting to, no matter what portal, meaning like no matter what persuasion you come in through like your ISUPKs, your JJ 7000s, even say some of the Kemet, or even like some sort of path that the black man and woman is waking up. Now let's look at this thing with the other nations, right? Does that put us in harm's way? Like literally puts us right there at being on the 8 ball. That Q mark.
Yeah.
Q mark. You know what I'm saying? They want to stop this regardless, whatever path you come in at.
So basically, as you saying, like other groups, right, that will put us in harm's way, basically.
Basically, anything pertaining to us getting ourselves out of the bowels of the barrel is putting us in harm's way. That's what I'm saying, literally.
Yeah, I mean, getting in some of these groups can put us in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would advise for a guy, and that's any Israelite, but a guy Kanye magnitude, because he's a rich man. Even right now he's a rich man. He ain't nothing like he ever was, right? Mm-hmm. But Kanye got 1 million or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or maybe 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Kanye is still a rich man, right? And people would take advantage of a guy like him, right? There's many Israelites groups that have touched Hollywood, man. right? Many of them. You know what I'm saying? And many of those stars, man, the ISUPK namely, man, there's many basketball players and boxers and maybe
You can name it. You can name them. You hit the path right there. Once you said those sports, you can think about it. You got Mike Tyson. You know what happened to him. You got OJ. You know, I was gonna tell you him up next. You know what happened to him, and then like obviously the basketball scene is like it's all over the place now.
Yeah, them guys. I'm saying that I'm just throwing them out there because they are a big fish in this game, right? The ISUPK has affected so many. I mean, you had Tazaria on the phone with Kanye the other day, right? On Clubhouse. So the One West groups have affected so many in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? And there's people in Hollywood that have put the millions in the Israelite. The ISUPK have gotten several millions from Hollywood people.
Shoot, you go part the point where remember that thing with January with the 6th that happened with Trump? They had it there too.
You know, but the thing about it is that these people have invested their money in the wrong Israelite group.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the fucked up part about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally. Literally, you are. I know it's a hard truth. It's sad, but yes, indeed, that is correct.
You know, that's just the bad part about it. You know, but I mean, it is what it is. You know, I would just suggest that any Israelite, when you come into this, understand that the groups that you come into, you know, they are not God.
Nope.
And you don't worship no group, right?
Never worship a group, exactly.
These are just institutions that you are in for your higher learning. You know, obviously they know more about this than you do, right? But when you know what they know, and when you outgrow this organization, then you need to move on, right? To something else. And if you can't find nothing else, then you start teaching, right?
I'll say that over and over.
Yeah.
Each one teach one.
You know, it's that type of thing.
That's how you keep that alarm clock going off. You keep waking people up. No matter how you look at it, it's all good until the time comes in where it automatically corrects itself. You know, but that's what we're gonna talk about when we do all the blessing side of these curses. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna touch it right now.
The guys like Kanye can come in this game, man, and get screwed up real bad. You know what I'm saying? Because he got money and he coming from Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? You know, he can have guys so desperate to be in his presence that they gonna feed him all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that camp, I say that because that camp stuff is bullshit. And Kanye is going to have to learn to grow beyond the cap stuff. You know, I mean, he done been bit by the cap. I say learn all these teachings, right? Learn it well, get in it, know it, you know, master it, right? And don't get stuck there. Keep an open mind because the Most High gonna send you something else, man. Just gonna, you know, because that's how he did all of us, right?
So a lot of these camps are appealing to a lot of the newbies as a sanctuary. That's what the problem is too.
Yeah.
They see them as a safe haven, and in reality, when they see that, they go all in and they put everything they got in it, and they usually get themselves jerked.
They see them as a sanctuary because they set themselves up for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, they set themselves up to be the sanctuary, but in actuality, they're acting as the actual Yahweh itself.
That's where the danger starts. That's where I call it the cultic action.
Yeah. They are supposed to be the sanctuary, and people are supposed to see them as that. And that's one thing that the ISUPK and those camps got. You know, it's amazing that here you done live 25, 30 years, 40 years of your life, right? Not knowing nothing about no black Jews or nothing. But then somebody put you on to this, then you go to a place, and then they tell you, invite you to a place on Saturday, and you go there, there's 300 people sitting up in there talking about I'm Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's mind-boggling because you ain't never heard of nothing of this, but you all of a sudden you looking at all these people, right? And then as the weeks go, you seeing more and more and more and more and more. Almost like when you get a new car, you never seen this car before in the streets until you see your car. Well, as soon as you bought your car, you start seeing your car everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how it works.
That's the Israelite train.
Yeah.
The people getting on the Israelite train. Now that's a funny thing to say that, because now you're seeing the actual, what you call the traditional Hebrew Christian getting on the Israelite train, and that's where the problems are starting. They're starting to just use Israelite names, but still be Christian, still using the same old doctrine that they had from Christianity, deep doctrine Christianity, but using under the disguise of the guise of Israelite train.
Yeah, I would just advise him not to get off at the first stop, and if he do, don't stay there too long, right? Get back on that train before it board and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't stay off that. When that train stop, stop, you can get off, right? Mm-hmm. But when it boards, you better be back on there.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to stop at that school. You know, get on the next train and just keep going until you get to your destination. You know what I'm saying? The Most High the Most High got something out there. There's a teacher out there that can lead you to where the Most High wants you to go. I mean, when you got these thuggish, ruggish guys, you know, those are the campers, right? They got off at the first exit. And they stayed there, you know, they liked it and they stayed there. You know, the ISUPK, what made them so great was that, like I said, you could go, you know, you got a guy like me and I ain't got nothing for you, man. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm just going to tell you what it is. And if you can sit down and listen, right, and get what I'm telling you, if you can get it, I guarantee you, once you get it, when you open your eyes, you're going to realize that everything that I told you was real, right? Mm-hmm. That's what happens with me. But if you get with them camps going to dazzle you, right? You're going to go up in there, you're going to see all these people that you never even knew existed who identified as being Jews, right? Mm-hmm. And now you're on the train, right? Now you on the train. Everywhere you go, excuse me. Everywhere you go, you're going to start seeing Israelite fever. You know what I'm saying?
Israelite fever. Yeah.
You know, something that you went years and years and years without ever even knowing existed. Mm-hmm. Now you got Israelite fever. You're going to see it everywhere. My advice to anybody is just don't have a closed mind, and to remember that nothing is more important than the truth, right? Yeah. If you could remember that, being behind the 8 ball, there's nothing more important than genuine, real love and truth.
Well, that's actually telling them to be, instead of being behind the 8 ball, to get behind the cue ball and put some English on it. That's what that's saying.
Yeah. You know?
Yep.
You know, just get up in there and make a couple adjustments, right?
Sharpen up the eye, look around, see what is the best shot you could take. You know, the angle that you got the angle correct. You know what I mean? That's literally your winning shot. Just because the 8-ball is right at the we call it at the cup or the opening, does not mean that shot that you take, you're gonna be precise with it. But you
Yeah,
only have to get it that one time, and you take the game. So
yeah, yeah. It's so many dynamics to this, man. But just my advice to any new Israelite, coming into this new knowledge is to just get on the Israelite train, man, and ride it, and don't get off at the first exit and stay there. You know what I'm saying? When the train roll, get back on it, and don't get off. If you decide, if when you get off the train, when you at your destination, you'll know it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
when you get home, that's the key. When you get home, that's when you get off.
Yeah.
As long as you ain't at home yet, you just ride. Just ride.
Yeah, just ride it. Just ride the Israelite train. And when you get home, you'll know it. You know what I'm saying? Any other place you playing games, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not home, right?
But you do know that it's damn sure doing good though, like this awakening, because there's a lot of passengers getting on that train now.
Yeah.
A lot of passengers getting on that train. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes you can get off at some of them destinations and get straight stuck and lost. Like, Lord, how did I get here? And have a bad experience because that's not home.
Not home.
Right. You don't worship your group, right? You don't worship your leader, right?
Nope.
You worship Yahweh God, and those are places that are nothing but sanctuaries, and that's it.
Short trip sanctuaries, that.
Yeah.
Some of the stops are not even complete.
Yes. And if you're aware of that, your trip ain't going. Your trip there is not going to be long.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's like I said. You got that first opportunity when the balls is racked. You knock that 8-ball right in that pocket. Then you got the game. But after that, you got some work to do.
Now you got to really, really ride this train now.
Got to ride it. That's right.
Yeah, man. But I'm glad you came. We put it down, man. The Most High, just had that in my spirit, that pool, that 8-ball.
But you gotta consider this is a good way to do it. But I only actually how we, like you said, Deuteronomy 15 and 68. There's a lot of curses that we're gonna be going through. So it's gonna be a minute. We're gonna be doing this little series. You know what I'm saying? And before we even get to the blessing, you know what I mean? I'm gonna leave it off at basically. I stopped at 18.
Yeah, I mean, I'm chilling, man. I got time. I got 59% on my device, and as far as battery. So
we can run the clock out, make it even 2 hours. We could do that.
Yeah.
Let me read some more. Let's go to 19. Okay, and we probably
have so much more to cover when we come back.
Yeah, we probably actually touched on it, not even sorry about it, not even knowing. But let me go to 19 and 20 because these are important. These are important to know. 19, cursed shall thou be in thy coming in. Cursed shall thou be in thy going out. All right. Verse 20. The Lord send upon thee want, key word, want, and famine and consumption of all things on which thou shalt put thy hand, until he shall have utterly destroyed thee, until he shall have consumed thee quickly, because of thine evil devices, because thou hast forsaken me. The Lord cause the pestilence to cleave to thee, until he shall consume thee off the land in which thou goest to inherit. The Lord smite thee with distress and fever and cold and inflammation.
Can you pause? What has happened to us these last 2 years, right, have made that scripture stand out.
Absolutely.
So hard to me. Curse. What did it say about the pestilence?
It says, the Lord should cause the pestilence to cleave to thee, until he shall have consumed thee off the land unto which thou goest to inherit it.
COVID, most recently, COVID-19 has cleaved to so many of my people till it has taken them off the land.
And it's done it fast too, right? Fast and bulk.
Has cleaved so many of my people that it has taken them off of the land. AIDS, HIV, high blood pressure, diabetes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lupus, right? Venereal diseases, right?
Yep.
What else black people have? Those are the major ones, right?
Just those alone, right there, is a serious condition that could be avoided.
I don't want to get too ahead of the verse,
Mhm.
because we're talking about the pestilence that's going to cling to you until it take you off this planet, right? Now you can listen to guys like the guys over at HOK, right? And tell you that there's no God and your God don't mean nothing and that Bible is fake. But that Bible warned us, right, about pestilence clinging to us, right? Until it consumed you off the land. You listen to somebody tell you that there is no God, right? While pestilences is constantly consuming your family off the land.
Mm-hmm. What you call that group? What you call that group? HOK?
Yeah, House of Consciousness.
Well, I gotta get to them.
Yeah, that's another in them.
Ah, man, I gotta get to that.
Yeah, that's old another in them. Years ago, man. The reason why I deal with those cats is years ago, man, I seen a lot of debates. I'm talking about 10 years or better, I've seen a lot of debates, and I used to like how them guys used to get it in, And I used to hear a lot of stupid and dumb answers, And I used to say, damn, I wish I was on there, because if I was on there, that wouldn't have went down like that, And just how the Bible tell you, so a man thinketh, so is he. That which is seen come from that which is unseen.
Faith hogs. Faith hogs. That's what they are. Yeah. Faith hogs.
Eventually, I end up on that show. Eventually, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen a lot of crazy stuff a lot of stuff happened over the years. The show ain't the same. The intent ain't the same. Sinetta ain't even the same. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really interested in wanting to be on that show. I remember years ago, I always wondered, one day I'm going to get on that show and I'm just going to tear their asses up, But now that has occurred, I really don't have that passion and desire to want to be on there no more, because now that I've made it there, I see what it's like. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I see what it's like over there, and it's not a good place to be. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you probably know from experience anyway, being on a situation like that, you really have no wins when you ain't in a situation where it's a neutral ground. You gotta remember that.
Yeah.
You gotta be in a neutral ground in order to shut that shit down. And you'll never see the likes of those parties. You may see the little, call it the locals, but you're not gonna see like the majors going no damn neutral ground, because that mess them up.
Yeah.
That mess them up.
Yeah, they'll never ever leave House of Consciousness, because can't nobody make them win like Sinetta.
Mm-hmm.
And they garbage. Them guys trash over there, man. You got a couple guys over there. Reggie, all right, but he even He even got the devil in him. Well, on the intellectual level, Reggie know what time it is. And I will say that. Another goofball, Chris Harris goofball, Jabari goofball. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
She know what's going on.
Most of the times, like when you said those days, I'm familiar with some of those days. Most of the days like that, I used to have experience with those guys back. I have like a lot of Facebook groups, and they usually, like I said, when they're not in the neutral zone or neutral area or whatever, or they're not in their comfort zones, I should say, they run like hell. They run like hell.
They the man on their show, but I'm determined to let them not be the man on their show.
Well, you know the way to do that. You do it like this.
I'm gonna respect you, man. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I've been told, man, that I am sore on the toe of those Negroes over there.
That was funny since you said it. Now that I think about it, I remember watching a recent debate on there. I think with JJ 7000 and my boy Judah Nash, right? And in the guy, I guess you call it that's Sonetta. Yeah, the nerve to call them what you call it, lightweight.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, they laughed at it too, and they accepted it. That's to me like.
He got that audience brainwashed. Whatever side.
That joker lucky I wasn't sitting there on that damn audience.
Sonata could say often to call that nigga Sonata. Call him a car. Sonata he could get on there and say God is green, and everybody gonna be clapping like, yeah, God is green.
Well, like I said, that's only because that's in the in his comfort zone. You take him out of his comfort zone, then he got nothing. But
I'll tell you, the other day he came into the lion's den, and Anonymous Hebrew bit that ass, brother. Are you familiar with Anonymous Hebrew?
Yeah, I probably like I said, I every so often I watch some of those things.
Man, he came into the lion's den about 2 days ago, I think. And Anonymous Hebrew caught him. You outside your comfort zone, nigga, what's up now?
That's how you got to treat him.
He came right up on you, like, what's up? You the best with the Bible? What's up right now, me and you? Yes, I never froze. It was like, shit, come on my show. You can't beat me on my show. Come on my show. And that's kind of funny because I never say, you believe you got God with you? You should be bad wherever you go. You should be bad over here, bad over there, bad wherever you go. But I never say he don't believe in God, so he ain't finna carry that talk with him. He know he ain't bad wherever he go. He just know he bad on his platform.
But you know where that comes from a lot of times, and I try to like what the way I like teach some of these guys, whether it be Hebrew Christians or whatever. Like when you read in these scriptures, particularly like a lot of it is in the prophets, they take too much of the literal things, and they don't understand like there's certain wordings of certain things that when they appear to have taken place, right? They think of it as like dumbed down with it instead of like using their Hebraic intelligence and being able to like master this stuff. Because when you get on a guy like say like a Sonata, whatever you want to call them, get on one of them and they play around with your faith, how much you have strength in your faith or knowledge of your faith, and they get over. They put them in those kind of spots and ask you these like surprise. I call it surprise questions.
Yeah,
make you like a damn jester, like a clown.
And I look at this scripture right here, right? This scripture that you got posted here, and it makes me think, man. When we looking at that, a lot of us run to that show because we was born behind the A-bar. Many of us was born, man. You know what I'm saying? where want was sent upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Where we want, always continually wanting something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we was born behind the 8 ball, right? We ain't got it. We was born poor, right? They talk about consumption and famine, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And one of all things, you just consumption. You just constantly give me. You think of the little Africans. Remember the movie Belly? When the gangster riding up the street, all the kids running behind them with their hands out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And want. And nothing is never good enough. Nothing is never enough. Everything, we're just unsaturated. Because we
all about me.
Yeah, we behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, and being behind the 8 ball. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the bad way, not having behind the 8 ball where I'm talking about behind the 8 ball where somebody's controlling you, right? And you ain't controlling you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about where a good player is behind you, right? I'm talking about a player that's gonna have you as the ball, have you roll your ass out as the last player on the board, just bang your ass out all through the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just, when you born in that type of situation, man, right? Nothing is never enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just never enough. Think about the brothers and sisters. We talk about consumption. Think about people that's on drugs, man, like crack. They could never ever be. They could never be. They could never. It could never be consumed, right? Think about people that got bad sexual addictions, right? Because all of this happens amongst people that's poor and broke and ain't got shit, right?
Yep.
Because they looking for pleasure. They unpleased, and because they born in a situation where they're unpleased, they're constantly looking for pleasure, and they seek for pleasure, physical pleasure, food, clothing, shelter, right? Food, clothing, sex, right?
Yep. You were exactly right about it. Well, that's exactly what that verse 20 is literally saying.
Nothing is never enough.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have to buy you some Gucci's today, some Balenciagas tomorrow, right? If you was rich. If you was rich, if you was filthy rich, you could walk outside with a pair of sandals and wouldn't give a fuck. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You rich, you don't need to press nobody, right? Because you're not rich, you constantly consuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just constantly, right?
It's more on the class of lusting. That's literally what he is, being that, put that curse upon. He put lust.
Yeah, and it don't have to necessarily always be a sexual lust.
Oh no. Less than anything. That's why I said wanting me, this and that. Most of the times, it's like a spiritual thing on the mindset that makes them, want more.
You never. Okay, and even if we talk about famine, you always hungry because you never eating nutritious food, right?
Exactly.
You just constantly eating and none of this shit nutritious, right? So you never getting you. Have you ever seen a person a full, fat, and malnourished?
We call it genetically modified shit that they did in the science laboratory to
That's what America do to
consume it and make you hungrier right afterwards.
Yes. How could you be malnourished and you eating, right? To be honest with you, if you ate, let's say you ate a couple pounds of fruit today, to be honest with you, you shouldn't be hungry for a couple of days. You know that, don't you?
If you eat the proper fruits according to the law, you know.
Yeah. You ate the right foods, you wouldn't be hungry. You don't have to eat every day. You do that because you're eating things that the nutrition value is low.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're constantly consuming. Constantly. You know.
Well, that was the thing in the 70s. I guess, you know, in the 70s when kids were growing up, they went hardcore on fast food snacks. Genetically modified fast food snacks. You get that quarter or 50 cents, you know, your parents give you. You rush to that store real fast, get you that fast food.
Yeah, candy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, and you rush to the store when they give you that because you didn't. The rich kids ain't rushing to no store to get nothing. They used to somebody bringing it to them.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's funny that we saying this.
She brought Gucci's to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what rich people in there want of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we all subjected to that. We all have been subjected to that. Look
at Kanye West as another example, Russell Simmons. Well, all of the rappers who ain't got nothing, who's constantly consuming big chains, big cars. Rakim, look at Rakim. Big chains, Rolls Royce, ain't hardly got nothing now. In constant want, right?
Mm-hmm.
In consumption, right? Well, how the scripture said, and of all things, right? But then you look at Russell. Russell ain't wanting nothing. Russell come out on Comedy Def Jam looking halfway almost like a bum. You know what I'm saying? Am I lying?
No, you're not.
Just what, regular fat fine shirt.
You got to remember though, he's a businessman. You're not gonna see the when it comes down to finances and stuff like that, they're not gonna see that naked in. And then to be honest with you, I can't really say anything negative about him particular because they all have like the ability to, I guess, stay far away from certain things because
but you see. But Russell filthy rich. He didn't want no big ass gold chain and platinum chain.
No.
That stuff don't mean nothing to him. Right? Look at Kanye, another example. When he first came out, that boy used to be fresh as hell. Big chains, rings, clothes, this, that. And he got to the point to where this nigga walk out with some big ass, dumb ass boots on. He got his face covered up. He don't even want you looking at him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All that. Because he don't want nothing. He's not in want of Gucci, Balenciaga, right?
Crazy.
Rich people are not in want of all things. It's poor people that is in want of all things. Cursed.
That's right. And it's sad to say that all of us are subjected to these curses.
Yes.
From birth. From birth. Some before even thought of being born, subjected. That's how severe it is.
You will be in want of all things until it utterly destroy thee. Think about a young girl who, I think of this Bible say, remember thee in the days of thy youth. Young girl don't remember the Lord in the days of her youth. She out here screwing like crazy. Him, right? And I got another example too. I'm just using just that one for now though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until it have utterly destroyed thee. And now you wonder why you 30, 40, 50 years old and never been married, right?
Yep.
And one of all of these things that you can see in another man, right? And you have so much want that you can't even do what's right. And now you have been destroyed. You can never be a wife.
Nope.
How many African American sisters who died, never married?
Yeah.
Could you take a good guess? What would you guess? Out of 100% of African American sisters, how many in America die never being married?
I would say about at least 65% or better, to be quite honest.
Wow,
I have to say that. I have to say that. You know, when you're dealing with those numbers, yes, you have to say that. And so a lot of it is, it's kind of like it repeats itself too.
Chasing after all these things until they have destroyed you and didn't get nothing.
Yep.
Look at the guy who sell all these. Look at Kanye. When Kanye first got into the rap world, he was in want of all things until it destroyed him. That drug dealer, because he was born in famine, born in want, born in consumption of all things, right? Which thy put thy hands, right, until it have consumed thee. In one of all things, it made me think of crack, man, right? I want that house, I want that car, right?
Prestige.
I want to put this dope in my hand, right? I want that car, I want that house. It don't even have to be big. It just be something simple, just so I can just be an independent man. Where I ain't got to ask and beg and borrow or even work for nobody. I'm going to do this. But you're going to do that until it consumes you, black man.
Yep.
Somebody's going to kill you, right?
Or the lifestyle itself is not going to be healthy.
Right. You're going to go to jail, right? Somehow, somewhere, it's going to destroy you. And God forbid that you make it past getting killed or prison. And then you get caught by the lifestyle. I know guys who ball so hard, they killed themselves eating bad diets. You know that?
I'm laughing, but you are is absolutely correct.
I had a friend of mine, man, who balled so hard he didn't get killed. He didn't go to the penitentiary. He killed his goddamn self, man, in his house. It was on Detroit News, man. Somehow, I don't know for what reason, maybe the furnace or something went out. I don't know. The lights or something, I don't know. But he went and got a generator, man.
Wow.
And began to use the generator and didn't take it outside, put it in the basement, killed his goddamn self. But guess what? He was wanting lights and heat, right? And one of all things. Until it consumed you. But when you got the Most High inside of you, I'm sure you can say, it is all right with me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can say it is well with me. When you got the Most High in you, whatever your current situation is, it is well with my soul.
You know, this is still got me thinking. You said those HOK guys. I would love to hear what they would say on a certain thing like this situation. You know, because literally they're basically telling you to abandon the creator, right? But what are you replacing? Well, I want to know, what are they replacing the creator with?
With yourself, common sense. Sarnetta teaches at HOK that you don't need no Bible to tell you. You's a weak man if you need the Bible to tell you don't lie. You need a Bible. You's a weak man if you need the Bible to tell you don't kill. Right? You's a weak man if the Bible tell you not to have sex before marriage. Right? You're supposed to know these good and bad on your own. The Bible shouldn't have to tell you this, but it's sad.
So basically, he basically teaching that you shouldn't have no reason to have a guide.
Yeah, called the Bible.
Oh man, that's literally what it's saying. You shouldn't have a guide because
Called
that's
the
what
Bible.
that's
Yeah.
what the
You
key
can let
thing with.
Kemet guide you, and you can let them Kemet nigga. You can let him guide you, right? You could do that. I'm sure he wouldn't object to that, right? You can let him guide you and make you tell you every night to send $20 or $100 in to cash out, right? You can let him guide you. He don't have no problem with that. But that Bible, oh no. But the thing about
That
it is,
sounds like some old Nimrod shit to me. Sound like some old Hammurabi shit. Basically, sounds to me like just act like that is something that man's laws kicking in, his ways kicking in. But it's no matter what.
when I get the statistics, right? And the statistic states that 80% of all marriages fail in divorce, right?
Yeah.
80%.
Without order, it's going to.
What that tells me is that 80% of the population has been involved in sexual deviancy. Right?
I would go as far as saying 85%, to be quite honest with that. If you would ask me them numbers.
See, there's a problem there. There's a problem why these marriages are not working, man.
Yeah.
You see? Because this American way of life, I mean, think about it, man.
Chaosity.
Think about it. You got this woman who done slept with 50 men, right? We get married, 25, 30 years old. She slept with 50 men, right? 25, 30 years old, right? Now, people don't pay attention to the fact that there's a process that takes place called microchimerism, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that your woman has bonded to every man that she
placement. Spiritual attachment, spiritual placement.
And physical. How about very physical DNA?
Mm-hmm.
She retained the DNA of every man that she has ever slept with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Forever. Right? And then you wonder why your woman is always leaving you.
Exactly.
You know, most divorces are filed by females because she can't parabond with you. Because you born behind the 8 ball. You think that this American way of life and the life that they told you is the way that it's supposed to be. You disregarded God's laws. You disregarded his statutes and his commandments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they told you that you could marry anybody you felt like marrying, as long as she wasn't your blood relative. Ain't that what they told you?
Mm-hmm.
They used to make you take blood tests when you get married. I don't even think they make you do that no more, do they?
Probably not.
You used to have to take a blood test before you got married, man. To make sure, I knew I had to take one to make sure that you wasn't marrying a relative. This is how bad the sexual deviancy has gotten in this country, man. To where you could actually be bouncing on somebody and not even know that they somebody related to you.
Yep.
You born, man. We just born, man. And if we could understand that we was born at a disadvantage.
Well, you might as well say it's dysfunctional. Dysfunctional. Don't sugarcoat it. Dysfunctional.
I want to say a dysfunctional advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the disadvantage is the most important part of this game. You know, if we're the sons of God, sons of Israel, with my intelligence, men like me, yourself, in this society, we're supposed to be very, very wealthy men, man. When you look on YouTube and see the people that YouTube is paying millions of dollars to, and the bullshit information that is coming out, that is emanating from these channels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, just nothing more than mere entertainment.
That's what's the comfort zone thing with that HOK it's got going on.
I mean, we, knowing the history, even if you're not an Israelite, knowing the history of Africa and the intelligence that has been brewing and bubbling in that continent for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, there is no way as a black man that the most minimal African American should be less than wealthy. Many of us should be lawyers, presidents, doctors, writers, authors, and accredited and famous, acclaimed. But no matter what, you're born behind the 8-ball, man.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us are much, 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 much better than our European counterparts. Many of us are much, much better than our Asian counterparts. And I'm not lying, man. We the children of God.
You're not. You're not.
I've seen people in America just because they was white, man, succeed, man, and never, ever, ever have to worry about failure.
Like I say, born with everything.
It's nobody's dream to fail, man. Right? Think of all of the things that I've done, man. I've had a record company that pushed out maybe 9, 10 albums, failed. Right? How the fuck that happened? Because somebody want to keep you behind, keep you. There's somebody behind that 8-ball, man.
You know, think about the saying, a lot of it don't be the crabs in the barrel too.
Yeah. You know. Or it's about that 8-ball. How about that?
No matter how you look at it, it's gonna all go back to that. It's gonna always go back to these curses. Always.
Yeah, you know. Look at, I've been an Israelite 30 years, 30-something years, almost 35 years, really, right? And you just not hearing about me. Tazariak ain't been an Israelite maybe 10 years, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 10, 15 years. And they talk about him like he's God's gift to Israel. You know what I'm saying? JJ 7000, my homie. He got about 10 years, yeah, right? Maybe, right? Everybody know this nigga, right? I'm not jealous of none of them people. I'm just saying what happens about that 8-ball, man.
Yeah.
Many of these guys be actually preaching to me information, not knowing that I'm the nigga who brought this whole information to the whole game. You preaching to the choir and don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've been in this that long. There was information that I put out back in the 90s, man, that left Detroit, went to New York, got big in New York, bounced back to Detroit. And when I heard it again, I'm like, damn, that's my shit, man. Y'all ain't telling it right. It's supposed to go like this, man.
Like sometimes you get your old message back, and you try to correct your old message, and they send it out again.
It didn't go. It didn't work like that, man. Many of us can't get our message across out here because of that 8-ball, man.
Well, a lot. I'll be honest with you. A lot of not saying, when I say us, I'm not saying me and you. I'm just saying a lot of us as a nation or just snakes slithering around, fire together. So you got to look at that, and it's not always the enemy that's behind all of this, because the enemy don't got to do nothing but just
Well, what I try to tell people is that when we look at the beginning of man, and we look at the first nations, Assyria, Ethiopia, the first rulers, Cushites, right?
Mm-hmm.
Adam. We look at black people, and you look at that, and you examine that. Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel. These black folks. Cain killed Abel. Black folks. Wasn't a white man ever even thought of. Yes, there's snakes amongst us.
Black and black.
Your own brother bust your head.
Yep.
I had uncles that were fighting that would literally damn near kill each other. You hear what I'm saying? Would shoot each other, stab each other. My dad, he shot his fucking cousin. You know what I'm saying? My uncle busted his brother in the head with a hammer.
So
your brother, your own people, man, will get you.
You going into that verse 22. The Lord smite thee with distress.
Yes. Oh man, you might have to go into another. You might have to read another scripture. I got some more time.
Nah, we gonna close it down. We gonna close it down because we go too deep. We got a lot to go. Trust me, a lot to go.
We are born as black people at a disadvantage, right? And when you get grown and you get successful, still understand that you are at a disadvantage. Kanye West, them people gave Kanye West billions of dollars, right? If they gave him billions, that means he was worth trillions.
Probably more than that.
You see? And that's the game that they play with us. We sold the 8 ball, right? That I could take a 1 pound block of gold, right? And when I go sell it, I'm gonna get the minimal dollar for the sale, right? And somebody else gonna sell it, and somebody else gonna sell it, right? And they gonna sell it to this white man or this foreigner, right? And he's going to get top dollar for that bar.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 times more than what I got for that same goddamn bar at the initial first sale.
Exactly.
And if that last person that had the bar was the first person to have the bar, he would have made that money off the top, and nobody made nothing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything you do in America, if the European can't get rich off of it, then you don't have the right to get rich. Huh?
You're right. You're right. We're stuck.
No man shall want to buy you. What was that scripture? Mm-hmm. No man, and no man shall want to buy you. What I say about that gold? They nobody want to buy the gold from me.
That's around the last. They
wanted the gold. They wanted the gold. They wanted gold. They wanted my services. They just didn't want to pay me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna save that though. We're gonna get to that. Do it that way too.
Black Israel, Yasha Ben Israel, aka Terry Whitfield, love you all dearly, and it is my endeavor to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, because I stand on the premise that nothing, I repeat, nothing is more important than the truth. That being said, this is Yasha Ben Israel, and I'm signing off.
Shalom.